Hello everyone! In today's episode, we are very honored to receive Mr. Stuart Campbell and Colum Ryan, representing Rousse Foods, which is the importing Rose Noire in Ireland. Welcome both of you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, so would you please allow us to know more about you, about your positions at Rousse Foods in Ireland and your involvement with Rose Noire?
Okay, so I'll start.
Yes.
My name is Stuart Campbell. I'm the managing director of Rose Foods. I've been working with Rose Foods for nearly 18 years now. And I think we started with Rose Noire maybe 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. It seems like yesterday, but a long time ago. So we operate in the medium to high end food service market in Ireland. So we would deliver to all the Michelin star restaurants in Ireland, 5-star hotels, anywhere there's good food to be made. So it was always a perfect fit with Rose Noire. And Colum, then?
Yeah, so I'm Colum. I'm the food director with Rousse Foods. I started in Rousse 23 years ago. I've loved it from the day I started, to be perfectly honest with you. It has allowed me fantastic opportunities to do various different roles within the business. It was a much smaller company then than it is today. I had the opportunity to create many of the roles that I took up and then progressed into being the food director. So now I have a fantastic team that support me. So a lot of what gets done now I had to do by myself at the beginning, but now over time I've been allowed to build a fantastic team behind me. And it's all about, like Rousse is all about the food that we sell to our customers. The ability to stand over the integrity of what we supply is extremely important to us. There's a number of chefs in the business, and we make sure that it's food that we would be happy to use ourselves if we were to be running a fine dining establishment in the morning. So it's been fantastic.
Great. So how did Rose Noire start in Ireland? How long ago? How was it? How was the situation?
We talked about this earlier on. We're not sure. We think it might be 2008, maybe 2009. So, but I do remember what happened. So, Colum came to me and he goes, it's Stuart. He goes, I just met this crazy Swiss baker, Gerard Dubois, and he wants to sell us handmade tart shells. Handmade tart shells? We've loads of tart shells. He goes, no. You have to meet this guy. You have to see it. It's the best product I've seen in the last 10, 15 years. So Gerard came over, he presented everything, and from day one, we went, yes, this is a business we want to be involved with. It was amazing quality of product. Gerard, very passionate. He was selling himself. He was selling his creations. So I said, we look back and Colum goes, you said no at the start. And so little did I know it would go on to become a really important part of our business and growing every year. So it's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Colum, what actually attracted you to Rose Noire? What was the thing you were
God. I'll be honest, I could hardly contain myself when I first came across Rose Noire with the excitement, just the sheer passion, the sheer quality that went into the product. For so long, it was the first time I'd come across a product that was equivalent to what you would see being produced in-house in a 5-star hotel, in a Michelin star restaurant, done by a top pastry chef, and particularly in Ireland, because we were lacking that concentration of patisserie in Ireland. It has been something that has developed now, thankfully, over the last 10, 15 years, and is now a very keen part of the food offering within Ireland. But when I first came across it, I got so excited. I actually thought, was there something wrong with me? To be really honest with you, because it wasn't. It's not normal to get excited over such products. But the quality
What
was.
product do you remember in particular?
Just the tartlets were the first that were showcased. Mm-hmm. That was the beginning for us in Ireland. We then later got to see products that had been produced for the different markets like the croissant and the bread, but that wasn't what was kind of first introduced into Europe. The first introduction of what was deemed suitable into Europe, and Rose Foods very proud to say I think we were the first, if not the second, importer in Ireland to take on the Rose Noire brand. So yeah, it was just from day one, I said, oh my God, this is something Rose needs to have. This is something that chefs in Ireland need to have just because of the quality that was there. And for me, it was a very interesting journey because it was the first product I had ever listed in the Rose Foods that didn't take from anything else. So taking a new chocolate tomorrow morning, it might bring in increased sales, but equally it might deduct from sales of other products, whereas the Rose Noire range was completely new sales. It didn't impact on anything else. And that was because the customer base that was buying it just never bought that type of product, that ready to go product before, because just the quality didn't exist. It was simple as that. It was a complete brand new market.
But I'm sure you had challenges in the beginning.
I was
right,
just thinking,
Stuart?
he was very excited, it didn't last. Excitement went
How was
away
it?
very quickly.
How
it
was
was
the
very
beginning?
tough at the start.
Tell
it was
us
tough
more
at the
about
start. So, because it was new, it was different.
Right.
So the quality was great. But when the sales team went out to start to sell the product, it was, I can do that myself. Who is this guy? Who is, some Swiss guy coming over selling tartlet shells, and Colum was very excited. So we had pallets and pallets and pallets, and we were a much smaller business back then. So I remember going down, and we've moved our warehouse since. We have a smaller warehouse, and I'll get down in the morning and go, so how much of Rose Noire have we sold? And go, no, there's maybe one box.
Really?
Yeah, and
wow.
So it was tough. So, but it's the lesson. We talk about this a lot actually. We talk to the new sales people that come into us. So now Rose Noire, it's a great brand, recognition is great, and there's a huge range, and customers know it, respect it. So if you say La Rose Noire now, they go, yeah, top quality. So the sell is easier now to a certain extent, but back then it was kitchen by kitchen, customer by customer. It was sampling, it was tasting, and then suddenly people go, actually, then you see them getting as excited as Colum was the first day. Go, yeah, I get it, I understand it now.
It took some time.
It took some time, and then in food service, it's not like retail. It's not like you listed in a supermarket and you've got national distribution. It's like one customer, two customers, three customers. So get them to buy once, get them to buy again, get them to train. So the executive chef to train the sous chef, the pastry chef, get onto menus. That takes time, and it's one of the things that the Rose Noire has been brilliant at over the years. So Colum will probably talk better than I would, but Rose Noire is the best supplier we have, the best, and the rest aren't close to extent in terms of supporting the brand, developing the brand, sampling, tasting, events, and everything is done, with the reason to help us, to support us. So, and I suppose the flip of that is, we're looking at this going, all this work being done, we need to sell. So that's our job. So we always said, look, we will make this work. So,
But did you think about giving up? There was a point
yeah.
you were like, okay, it's not going to work.
There was, but the lesson as well is that deep down, and we talked before, deep down you knew this is a great product. Deep down, okay? And actually, deep down, we'd started to get to know Gerard a little bit, and we've probably been out to the factories. You start to meet people who are still here today, but it's a people business, and so you want to sell for the people. You don't turn around and go, sorry, we couldn't do it. So you keep at it. That's the job. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but you need to keep going, right?
No, I remember back at the start, and I was quite nervous, because like that, as Stuart explained,
it was your idea.
I got very excited. I put my name on the line behind this.
He was meant to change job again.
Absolutely. That's
How
not what word of life. It didn't. It's interesting. I was thinking back on this. It seemed forever at the time, but actually it wasn't. It was literally only a couple of months. But again, we had taken in quite a bit of stock because we knew to get this going, the last thing that we could afford was then not to be able to back it up by continuity of supply. So that was really important to us. So we had taken in quite a bit of stock, and like that, I tend to get excited very quickly, and put all my eggs into that basket. But very quickly we developed with Gerard. I remember having multiple conversations around chefs really needed to experience this product. It wasn't enough. Pictures are great, but that wasn't enough. So we initially started the whole journey of sampling, which now, as Stuart said, by far Rose Noire is the best company that we work with, and I use them as a pillar to show other producers actually what works really well in terms of supporting us to make sure that we do our job correctly. So in the start, the samples came over, but they were all sealed in a bag. Chefs were going, well, that's not good to me. I need to taste the product. So then we were opening the samples, but then the samples obviously were no good a day or a couple of days later.
Right.
So over time, we developed a fantastic, and when I see now where we've got to in terms of how the Rose Noire is presented to a chef day one, and the effort that goes into that is just fantastic to see. We started off with no, again, Rousse, I think we're one of the first people to embrace the whole concept of brand managers, which has been really successful. But to go back to day one and to see how La Rose Noire was initially presented to how it's presented now, it's just miles apart.
It's a big change.
Yeah.
What he's not saying though is, so we had all this stock, we couldn't sell it, but then it started to sell.
Yeah.
So I'm into Colum and says, where's the stock? So we sold all the stock,
All right.
and then of course we hadn't got our forecast right. So that learning process to go, we need more. So it took us time to, and then we went into forecasts, 6-month forecasts, yearly forecasts. So yeah, it was all a journey to learn how to do it right. So yeah.
So best memory over all these years, best memory with La Rose Noire, and worst memory. I let you choose who want to say what.
Well, for me, I think it was certainly Gerard coming over, and his influence when he came over, it was like a tornado ripping through, to be quite honest. I think we had our first event back in 2010, and at that stage we were just everybody was getting to know each other, and we had a key event in the Shelbourne Hotel in Dublin, which was quite different. It wasn't an approach that we had done before with our customers. So we were very excited about it. But like that, we wanted to make sure that everything was perfect on Gerard's arrival. And next of all, he came in, and the whole thing was completely stripped apart and rebuilt again. But it's that ethos of wanting everything to be right, everything to be perfect. It's a core value within the Rousse Foods. So it was like a breath of fresh air for me anyway. In particular, it reminded me of what working in a 5-star hotel, working in a fine dining Michelin star kitchen was all about. It's about the end result, and if everybody isn't pulling together in the same way at the same time, it doesn't work.
Right. Correct. Worst memory.
Worst memories. I don't know. We've got worst memories. What I would say about Rose Noire, what I like about Rose Noire actually, is there's no looking back. Actually, it's all about looking forward. So and I like that. It's yesterday's done. We may have got things wrong. We may have had problems, but there's always, how do we fix it? How do we move on? What's new? What's the next thing? And that for me in Rose Noire is what's really striking. So there's always something new. So it's really good memories. Like when we come to visit the factory and we see everyone, and Gerard brings in, and we meet Jen, and he goes, what's new? What's next? And at the start, for us, it was every 6 months. We started with the tart shells, then there was the cones, the baskets, then there was the Caroline, Éclairant, there was the chouchou, and then we get into vegan, we get into chocolate, and it just goes on and on and on. But it's an innovation. So, and that was great. So it's all about looking forward. So, I don't think bad memories, because actually we've got things wrong, but you know, we've learned to fix them, learn from them, move on, and go, well, how do we do it better? You know, and I think Rose Noire has been great for that. Actually, it's always looking forward. You know, never standing still. What's new? What can we change? I think one of the really interesting things that I liked in certainly Gerard's approach when he arrived is that Gerard and Rose Noire listen. Actually, they listen to the customers, listen to us, but they listen to our customers to say, well, actually, you know, I could do a tart shell a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, a little bit higher. You know, and you see all these changes that come through over time, and that's because you know, business that's close to customers, that listens. You know, so nobody's the right answers. Okay, but if you listen, if you explore, if you're curious around life, you'll find new things, and that's what brings the magic to a business, I think.
Would you say that's what you learned from La Rose Noire over the years to your business? Or is there anything else?
I would say we've learned a lot, okay, and I would say we've talked to this before. So, Colum mentioned sort of brand managers, and so Mary Ryan, as she was back then, she was the first Rose Noire sales manager in Ireland, and so Mary's still with us. Okay, so I think Mary was maybe 2 years. 2 years for La Rose Noire, and then she moved into. I needed someone to keep Colum out of trouble, so moved into Colum's team, and then Daniel Keenan stepped in, and then Daniel is now our fine foods manager, and then Fiona came in, so Fiona's still there. So, and they have taken a lot of. You can see it over the years. There's an influence actually in terms of attention to detail. You know, do things right, do them once, do them better than everybody else. We operate in a demanding environment. You know, it's our customers expect things done, you know, right the first time, and I think we learn from each other on that. So it's been a great experience for them. They've learned a lot and brought a lot of that back into the business. So, like, ultimately, it's not really about me or Colum. Okay, you know, it's about the rest of the colleagues in the Rousse Foods who represent Rose Noire every day in terms of their customers, and make sure that, you know, we have the product, you know, we get it to our customers, that we're able to explain to our customers, you know, the specifications of the product, what they're doing, and that's really important. You know, it needs to run through an entire business.
Great. Colum, what makes you very proud of having La Rose Noire in La Rousse today, or being part of the team? What makes you very proud of being La Rose Noire today?
I think that's probably one of the easiest questions to answer, but just in terms of being able to stand over the integrity of the brand is actually very powerful, and very proud to be able to do that. Because, you know, our whole ethos within La Rousse is to bring the highest quality, you know, do due diligence on who our suppliers are, how ethical they are in terms of sustainability, corporate responsibility. You know, does the product at the very start is just the eatability of the product, the quality of the product, and the consistency of the product. All of these are just very simple core values that pertain to the Rose Noire brand and to the La Rousse brand. So the synergy between the two businesses is very close and very important to us. So yeah, very simple to stand over the integrity of the brand makes me very proud to be able to do that.
Great. Stuart, what is the secret for a successful business nowadays?
I don't think it's changed, Deborah. You know,
No?
you need to have a clear vision of what you want to be. So what's your purpose? Okay. When I started in the Rousse Foods, we were a very different business, and we were a young business, so we were feeling our way a little bit. We were trying different things, but in the end, we said, look, we need to be known for something. We need to be very clear what we do, and we spent a lot of time actually thinking about what we wanted Rousse Foods to be as a business, and that still stands. You know, we had a very clear vision of where we wanted to go, and it was very much the high end of food service in Ireland. And once you have that, actually, and it's clear for people, you need to get good people who believe in the same thing, and it's and good suppliers. You know, there's no magic in business. You need good people who are going to work hard, who are honest, and have a bit of passion. You know, and want to go out and make a difference. So it's tough, but it's great fun.
That's great. That's great. If you had a motto, Stuart, what that would be?
If I had a motto,
Yeah.
Colum might have a different reply to me.
I want to hear from both of you, of course.
I would say in the Rousse Foods, they would say it. I talk a lot about them on time, in full. So that is, if we're going to do stuff, let's do it on time and in full. So let's do it right first time. So it's a mantra that I keep saying to all of them over and over again. I think it might have stuck at this stage. So, but it's important to me that we do things right and we do them in the time scale that we say we're going to do them in.
Yes, that's commitment.
Yeah, well, it makes your life easier actually if you're doing things on time and in full. So yeah.
Colum.
Yeah, I would echo that very much so, and I suppose that has been something huge that Stuart. I was in the Rousse for a number of years before Stuart started, and one of the great things that Stuart has brought to the business is direction and clarity, because like that at that time it was a little bit all over the place, and I'll be honest, when I first met Stuart, I wasn't quite sure. You know, now I'm a bit safer to say that. A bit safer to say that today. I hope, maybe not. We'll see afterwards. But yeah, no, that there was focusing in on the customer, not trying to be all things to everybody, finding a direction of clearly what we wanted to do, and from that was built a mission and vision statement. And again, very similar to Rose Noire, where you know, focusing on the simple things, focus, integrity, honesty, they're all key things that we strive to make sure of every day.
Great.
And you need to have fun.
Yeah.
You need to have fun in business. If not, it's not. You know, it's not.
We're learning a lot from you today.
Listen.
So, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to anybody that is listening to us that maybe is trying to succeed professionally, like you guys did? What would you give as an advice?
I think truth and honesty will always ring true. You know, if you don't passionately believe in what you do, you'll be caught out very quickly for just being false, and that won't get you anywhere. So I think if you're not able to stand over and be proud of what you're doing, you know, and having fun, as Stuart said, you know, but actually having fun is quite easy, because you'll have fun as soon as you're proud of something, as soon as you're enjoying something. The fun bit actually just naturally comes, to be honest with you. When it becomes difficult actually is when you're trying to force stuff.
I'd agree. You need a purpose. You need to know what you want to achieve. That sounds easy, but you know, that takes a bit of work. I think when you find it, then life is tough, actually. So, but it's embracing the tough moments. But that's easier to do when you know where you want to get to, actually. So once you have a purpose, believe in what you're doing, I agree with Colum, you need to be authentic in terms of, you can't fake things anymore. And I would say particularly in the world of food, there's a lot of fake out there. So you need to be able to stand over your product, believe in it, and then, you know, find like-minded people who are willing to share the load.
Yeah, very inspirational.
Yeah.
Look, thank you. I have one last question for both of you. That's a very reflective one. If you could be remembered for one thing when you leave this world, what would that be?
He was a good guy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Stuart.
Yeah, probably something similar. I just think like you make friends along the way. You make obviously family. I think that you're viewed as someone who is fair. You know, can't ask for anything more than that.
That's great. Look, thank you so much for the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
of being with us. It was a pleasure and very inspirational. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.